Unit Unit 3 Part 4 The Cellular Concept. Now, why cell splitting and cell actually it is splitting and cell sectoring. It is cell sectoring. By mistake, it is sectoring. There is a writing mistake. It is a cell sectoring. As the users increases, channel capacity decreases. The techniques are needed to provide extra channel. The cell splitting and cell sectoring increases the capacity. So what is cell splitting? The process of subdividing a congested cell into a smaller cell, each with its own base station and corresponding reduction in antenna height. It leads to increase in the capacity. So, cell splitting is the method of subdividing the congested cell into a smaller cell, each within its own base station, following a decrease in the transmitter power and the height of the antenna. The parent cell that was originally congested is called microcell and macrocell, and the smaller cells are called microcells. The macro and micro. So the main advantage of cell splitting is that it increases the cellular capacity of the system, where the frequency reuse technique can be efficiently implemented. The cell splitting has The cell splitting has specific hierarchy, that is macrocell, microcell, picocell and femtocell. The diagram for the cell splitting is shown here. In the base station where usage of the cellular network is high, these cells split into a smaller cell. A new cell site must be constructed when the cell is split, such that the radio frequencies are reassigned and transmission power is reduced, each with its own base station and a corresponding reduction in antenna height. The process of subdividing a congested cell into a smaller cell leads to increase in capacity. The cell splitting is one of the easy and less costly solution when increasing the capacity of cellular network. There are some limitations of this cell splitting, that hands-off are more frequent, channel assignment becomes difficult, all cells are not split simultaneously, so special care have to be taken for proper allocation of a problem. To cover the entire service area within the new microcell, 4 times as many cells are required. The increased number of the cell will increase the number of clusters over the coverage area and will increase the number of channels per unit area. This indicates that the capacity of the system is increased. The cell splitting improves the capacity by replacing large cells with smaller cells, while disturbing the channel allocation method to maintain the minimum co-channel reuse ratio. For the new cell to be a smaller in size, the transmitted power must be decreased, assuming PR0 as the received power at the old cell boundary and PRN as the received power at new cell boundary. If n is 4, then if we assume that the received powers are same, then PT2 equal to T1 by 16. PT1 by 16. This indicates that the transmit power must be reduced by 12 dB in order to fill in the original coverage area with micro cell for maintaining the S by I requirement. In cell splitting process, the large microcells are dedicated to high speed traffic. The reason is the number of the handoffs will be less in larger cell, and the call progress can be smoothly carried in larger cells. Also, the channels in the old cells need to be divided into two groups because of following points. First is, if large transmission power is used for the cells that are available, then some of the channels used by the smaller cells may not be completely separated by the co-channel cells. It may lead to interference. If smaller transmission power is used for the available cells, then there is a probability of unsolved problem, that is, some of the parts of the larger cell would be left out unserved. It is also not acceptable. Hence, the channels of the microcell have to be divided into a microcell and macrocell. The macrocell are dedicated to the high speed traffic and microcell are dedicated to the low speed traffic. Next is cell sectoring. Cell sectoring. To overcome some limitations like co-channel interference, the cell sectoring is done. Involves replacing an omnidirectional antenna at the base station by several directional antennas. So by reducing the cell radius r and keeping the same co-channel reuse ratio d by r, the cell splitting technique increases the number of channels per unit area. The cell sectoring is another method to increase the capacity. It keeps the radius of the cell constant and decreases the co-channel reuse ratio d by r to reduce the cluster size n. The size of the cluster in particular service area can be reduced because the cell sectoring increases the signal to interference ratio SIR. In cell sectoring, the S by R ratio is improved using directional antennas, and the capacity improvement is obtained by reducing the number of cells in a cluster, thus increasing the frequency reuse. At the base station, if several directional antennas are replaced by a single omnidirectional antenna, then co-channel interference can be reduced. Only a given cell will receive interference and transmit only a part of available co-channel with a directional antenna. Thus, the method of decreasing the co-channel interference value and enhancing the system performance by using the directional antenna is called cell sectoring. The reduction in co-channel interference is dependent on the amount of sectoring used. A cell is generally divided into 120-degree or 60-degree. If the sectoring is 120-degree, then hexagonal cell consists of 3 sectors. If the sectoring is 60-degree, then the hexagonal type cell consists of 6 sectors. If cell sectoring is employed, then the channel used in a cell will be divided into the groups, that is sectored groups, as they are. The diagram shows 120 degree, 60 degree and 360 degree cells. So these are the different sectors. Only 2 cells of the 6 co-channels get interfere from particular sectored cell. So the interference experienced by the mobile located in the rightmost sector in the center cell labeled by the name. The sectorization consists of dividing an omnidirectional, that is 360 degree view of the cell site into non-overlapping slices called sectoring. To overcome the some limitation like co-channel interference, cell sectoring is done. There are two methods for cell sectoring, 60 degree and 120 degree. Replacing a single omnidirectional antenna at the base station with a several directional antenna achieves the capacity improvement by essential rescaling the system. There is some difference between cell splitting and cell sectoring. The cell splitting is a method of subdividing the congested cell into a smaller cell, each with its own base station and correction reduction in the antenna height and transmitter power. Cell sectoring is a method of decreasing the co-channel interference and enhancing the system performance by using directional antennas. Cell splitting is the radius of the cell is decreased and the co-channel reuse ratio D by R is kept constant to improve the capacity. Cell sectoring, the radius of the cell is kept constant and co-channel reuse ratio D by R is decreased to improve the capacity. In cell splitting, the cell is divided into smaller cell, that is micro cell, and in sectoring the cells are divided into 120 degree and 60 degree sector. In cell splitting, transmit power must be reduced to maintain S by I ratio, and cell sectoring improves the S by ratio using directional antennas. In cell splitting, large macro cells are dedicated to high speed traffic. The reason is number of handoff will be less and call progress can be smoothly done. Cell sectoring decreases the coverage area of group of channels and increases the number of handoffs. Next advantages of this method is it improves the S by I ratio. It reduces the interference which increases the capacity. It enables to reduce the cluster size and provides an additional freedom in assigning channels. Next is the limitations. It has the increased number of antennas at each base station and it decreases in trunk efficiency. There is a loss of traffic since the sectoring reduces the coverage area of a particular group of channel, the number of handoff increases as well. Next is microcell. So, microcell, as the splitting of cell idea evolves, the usage of a smaller cells becomes efficient and it leads to the creation of microcell. The aim of creating a microcell are increasing the capacity of cellular network in areas where population is high. The typical comparison can be made like this. The cells typically range in the size from 2 to 20 km in diameter. Microcell range from about 100 meter to a kilometer in diameter. So microcell it uses a low power cellular base station. It also uses a power control to limit the radius of its coverage area. Microcell increases the capacity of channel, but radio resource management becomes more difficult. They are more sensitive to traffic variations and interference issue as compared to macrocell. So there are some disadvantages of the microcell. The number of handoff increases per cell. So this is the disadvantages. This is the disadvantage of microcell. Next is microcell zone concept. The large control base station is replaced by a several lower powered transmitter on the edge of the cell. The mobile retains the same channel and the base station simply switches the channel to a different zone site and the mobile moves from zone to zone. Since a given channel is active only in particular zone in which mobile is traveling, the base station radiation is localized and interference is reduced. It is superior to sectoring. Any base station channel may be assigned to any zone by the base station. It has same channel, no handoff on only the active zone. So we know that the cell sectoring decreases the coverage area of a group of channels by increasing the number of handoff. This is one of the problems associated with cell sectoring. It results in increased load on the switching and control link elements of the mobile system. To minimize this problem, microcell zone concept was present by the Lee. So diagram for this is shown here. This is microcell zone concept, which consists of base station, zone selector, microwave or fiber optic link, mobile user and transceiver. All are connected to a single base station and share the same radio equipment. For establishing the connection between these zones, and the base stations, microwave link or coaxial cable or fiber optic cable is used. Such an arrangement of multiple zone and a single base station constitute a cell. When a mobile user travel, that is roam from one zone to another zone to, then zone 1 will have a strongest signal with respect to the base station. However, the remains sorry cell retains the same channel. When the mobile travel between zone 1 within the cell, a handoff is not required. Microcell zone concept is useful along highways or urban traffic corridors. The antenna are placed at the edge of each zone such that when the user moves from one zone to another zone, the signal strength does not reduce. There are some advantages of this microcell zone concept. It improved the signal quality is possible. Reduced number of handoff when a call is in progress. When the next advantage is when the mobile user travel from one zone to another zone within the same cell, the same channel is maintained for call progress as low power transmitter are used in each zone apart from the control base station. The effect of interference is reduced as the cell maintains a specific coverage radius. The co-channel interference in the cellular system is reduced. Applications in highway and urban traffic corridors. Next is femtocell. Next is femtocell. It is a small cell. So femtocell is a small cellular base station which is designed for the use in residential or small business environment. In a residential or small business environment, it connects to the service provider's network via broadband such as DSL or cable and typically supports 2 to 5 mobile phones in residential setting. A femtocell allows service providers to extend a service coverage inside of your home, especially where access would otherwise be limited or unavailable without the need for the expensive cellular towers. It also decreases the backhaul cost since it routes your mobile phone traffic through the IP network. A femtocell is sometimes referred to a home base station, access point, base station, 3G access point, small cellular base station, and personal 2G, 3G base station. So, femtocell is a small cellular device base station designed for use in residential or small business environment. It routes the mobile traffic through the IP network and it increases the indoor coverage. There are some features of femtocell. It operates in the licensed spectrum. It uses a fixed broadband connection for backhaul. It is managed by the NAC. The backhaul service provider may be different from the NAC NSP. Principally, it is intended for the home and SOHO, lower cost than Pico BS, that is base station, the smaller coverage, that is low power than the Pico BS, smaller number of subscriber 10 or less, higher density. Then the user benefits are it reduced in-home call charges, improved indoor coverage, base station is in your bedroom, that's why. The continued use of the current handset, reduced battery drain, and fast or higher performance 3G services. So there are some advantages of femtocell, that is low device cost. Next is system interference management, femtocell capacity maximization, backhaul issues, and viable system architecture. These are the advantages of femtocell. Then there is one more type, that is picocell. These cells generally cover a small area such as in building, shopping mall, train stations, offices, airports, etc., or more recently in aircrafts. They are used for improving indoor coverage in densely populated areas like train stations, etc. Typically, range of the picocell is 200 meter. Picocell are available cellular technologies like GSM, CDMA, UMTS, and LTE. Advantages of these picocells are it is a less costly system. It allows the operator to have more cells and thus increases the capacity of the network inside the building. It can be used where localization is important. Also helps in improvement of the outdoor coverage little bit. There is one more disadvantage of this type, that is coverage area is small, hence require more number of picocells. Next is cell repeaters. A cellular repeater in the cell phone industry is a device which is used for boosting the cell phone reception to the local area by the usage of reception antenna, a signal amplifier, and an internal rebroadcast antenna. They are much smaller, usually intended for the use in one building. Modern cellular repeaters amplifiers can rebroadcast cellular signals inside a building. The system usually use an external directional antenna to collect the best cellular signal, which is then transmitted to an amplifier unit which amplifies the signal and retransmit it locally, providing significantly improved signal strength. Extended coverage range, directional antenna or distributed antenna system. So repeaters means the users of the the users of the wireless networks require dedicated coverage for coverage in the areas like mountains, valleys, buildings, etc. To provide such a range capabilities, radio retransmitters called as repeaters are used. Repeaters are bidirectional. They simultaneously transmit and receive the signal from the servicing base station. They operate using over the air signals so that they can be installed anywhere. Repeaters are capable of repeating an entire cellular band. When the signals from the base station are received, the repeaters amplifies and radiates the base station signal to the particular coverage region. The noise that is received and interference are re-radiated by the repeater on the forward and the reverse link. So the repeaters must be carefully installed to adjust the forward and reverse link amplifier level and antenna pattern. Directional antennas are connected to the input or the output of repeaters for localized spot coverage in tunnels or the buildings. If the coverage of the cell that is in use is modified, then the user can allocate some base station traffic to areas covered by the repeater. The repeater does not add a capacity to the system. They are used to provide a coverage into and around buildings where the coverage is weak. Repeaters with DS, that is distributed antenna structure network, are installed within the buildings to provide coverage into targeted areas. Knowledge of the correct location for repeaters and distributed antenna system within the building needs planning because into the building the interference levels are re-radiated into the building from the base station and from the interior of the building to the base station.